Greetings, teachers. I want to take a quick second to go over our agenda for this week. This week we're going to look at a couple of different technologies, tablets, specifically iPads, and then laptops, if you will, Chromebooks. So we're going to look at iPads and Chromebooks, and we're going to use those to talk about apps that we can use with our students to teach literacy skills. And so this first part of the agenda focuses specifically on this part of the assignment. And if you go right above our agenda for this week, you'll see the actual assignment right here at the list of our other folders and documents that we use quite a bit. And I've already got that open down here. And this part of our work this week is 3 parts, and it's all due at noon next Monday. And part 1 of this assignment asks you to identify 5 apps that you can use either on an iPad or a Chromebook that are focused on literacy skills and teaching literacy skills, engaging students in literacy skills. And you're going to create a Google document to place these apps that you've identified on. And on that Google document, you're going to insert a table with 2 columns and 5 rows. And in the left-hand column, you're going to place the name of each of your apps, okay, one at a time. And you're going to make the name and an image, include an image of the app, the logo, the icon that goes with it. And you're going to make either the image or the name or both a link to where that app can be downloaded. And then in the right-hand column, you're going to provide the grade level, the content area, give a brief description of what the app can do, and if you can find a video either on YouTube or on the website for the app that kind of gives an overview of what it is, then include that as well. You're going to take the link to the Google document that you have. Remember to make it where I can edit it if I want to put comments on there. And you're going to put the link to your Google Doc on the Google Doc for this assignment at the bottom of this week's Moodle agenda. Part 2 of this assignment has you creating a presentation. You can do that in PowerPoint just like we did for your introductory presentation or some other tool if you want to make an iMovie. But you're going to create a presentation for your students where you talk about each of your 5 apps, providing the name, the grade level, the cost, demonstrating how the app works. Okay, and you can do this either through screenshots or if you're using iMovie, you can record yourself doing this. And then this should not exceed 10 minutes. Okay, you're going to take your PowerPoint, convert it to an MP4 just like we did at the first of the semester, and you're going to put that link to that video on the Google document that I have listed under assignments at the bottom of this page. So this is just where you, as opposed to just identifying the apps, what I want you to do is I want you to go in and explore them and learn how to use them, and then kind of tell your colleagues how to do that as well. Share with them how to use it once you've learned about them. Okay? Part 3 is the written component of this, and for this, you're going to create a new page on your Google site that we've been using. You're going to name that Apps Written Component, and then on that page, you're going to just pick one of the 5 apps that you found, and you're going to describe how you would use this to teach a literacy lesson with your students. And then after you've done that, you're going to address the components as it relates to this app and the way that you're using it. You're going to address the other components that we've been talking about in the other 2 assignments, the ILA standards, the ISTE standards, how it connects to the literature that you read this week, how it connects to the TPAC model, and the Common Core standards. And then I have a Google document under assignments at the bottom of this page, and you will just put a link to your Google site page there. Okay, remember, make sure all links work after you submit them, the best way to do that is share them with a friend. Try to access them on your phone, something other. If you're just doing it on your computer and you're still logged in, you're going to be able to access it. So find a way to test them prior to submitting or after submitting. Now, so those are the three parts of the first part of this week's assignment, and that is the tablet Chromebook apps assignment. 3 parts. 1, you're going to identify 5 apps, create a Google document where you record those 5 apps and the information I listed about those. Next, you're going to make an instructional PowerPoint where you explain how each of the 5 apps are used. You're going to put that on YouTube and then provide a link to that. And then finally, you'll complete the written component, which will go on your Google site, and that will be shared again through a Google Doc at the bottom of today's page. The next assignment that you're going to do this week is you're going to identify 3 grant resources. So the main barrier to integration is the lack of access, that we don't have these technologies in our classroom. And while we're getting better, and more I'm seeing teachers mention how they have a classroom set of iPads, or they have a classroom set of Chromebooks, or their team even does, we still don't have 100% one-to-one in our classrooms. I know that's our goal. It's been our goal for a long time. And we're working to it. I think the last I heard from JCPS is they have around 35,000 Chromebooks, and of course that's the area they're headed in right now. But of course that's for roughly 100,000 students. So I know that at least 2 of the students in the 2 sections that I have talked about the fact that they've recently written grants to get and have gotten technology for their classroom. So you're going to explore and identify resources. Now, please don't use the ones that are so common, GoFundMe, and then there's the other one that's escaping me about teachers. Don't use those 2 obvious ones that everybody knows about. This is an opportunity for you to go, again, for this course, providing the time for you to go and find grant resources. And for that, okay, again, you're going to create a page on your Google site, okay, and name this grants, and then you are going to address the following. So on your Google site, create a new page called grant. Give the name of the grant, the amount, a link to the grant page, what the grant money can be used for, and then an explanation of what the basic requirements are to receive the grant. Okay? So that's the components of these 2 assignments. And just real quickly, I know probably at times you're thinking, wow, the Google documents. Well, one of the things that I'm trying to do with both of these assignments this week is crowdsource. So to take your 5 apps that you're going to identify and put them on a Google document allows you to see all of your all the other apps collected by your colleagues, and therefore you go from having 5 apps to having all of the other apps, actually really by the 3 sections, so almost 70 students that we have here. So you go from having 5 apps to having 350 apps. Okay, in the same way with the grant resources, instead of your 3, you're going to have all of the grants that have been identified in the 3 sections, so you're going to have 210. All right. Okay, so let's go back to our agenda because there is group work this week. I know it seems like a lot, but it's a master's level class, and it's, the workload is heavy. I understand that. I have confidence that you can do it because the class this is the same assignment that my class had last year. So, and they did it and really enjoyed it, and I know you will also. So the last part here is group work. Okay, so you're going to meet with your groups again this week. We've got 6 articles here about using iPads and apps in the classroom. With a quick note on that, I've searched for literature on Chromebooks, and I can't find any. So if you have an article on using Chromebooks for literacy skills, by all means share it. I have been unable to find any that talk specifically about teaching literacy and 21st century literacy skills with that technology. So you're going to get with your groups just like we have in the past. Okay, read the articles, and then what I would like for you to do is to create a Google document, record 5 takeaways from each of the articles, okay, and then share that with me down at the bottom. All right, so here's what's due, here's when it's due, and then at the bottom here you'll see here's where you'll submit all of your assignments. I'll have to double check all of these. I haven't gone through and clicked on them to make sure they're all working, but I will, and if you get to them before me, I know you'll let me know, and I appreciate that very much. Okay, last thing I'll say this week is I put a couple of exemplars here that you can click on from last week's assignment. These are online literacy activities. So great assignments that got turned in last week. You guys worked your tails off on those assignments, and I really appreciate the hard work. I'm always impressed by the hard work you do, and I just want to share some of the examples from last week. All right, so that's all I've got for you this week. Have a great week, and I'll see you online next Monday. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me or to shoot me an email.